Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new match review here on the channel. My name is James, and today we're going to go ahead and sit down and talk to you guys about Reading's 3-1 win over the West Ham under-21s in the EFL Trophy. It was the second game at the Select Carlton Stadium for Reading this season, and we came out with a 3-1 victory over West Ham's youth side. It was a very youthful Reading playing against a very youthful West Ham side. We'll go ahead and talk about Reading's starting 11 now. So we saw Kanaya Boys Clark starting off in goal, Kelvin Abrefa, Harley Dean, Andre Garcia and Abraham Kanu made up Reading's back four. We then saw a midfield with Shea Spencer, Ben Elliott and Charlie Savage. Kelvin Ehebachman and Adrian Akande were the two wingers, while we saw Jaden Wareham starting up front. That was a very youthful Reading that managed to play this game. Just the three senior starters in this Reading side, with Ben Elliott, Charlie Savage and Ehebachman being them. You can make a case for Kelvin Abrefa, but he hasn't played too many games realistically for Reading. He's like the second choice right back really, and has spent most of the time really in his playing career in the under-21s team. So really just the three senior starters for Reading in this game. We saw all three senior players also come off at half time, so it was a very youthful Reading that managed to play in this fixture, but it was also a victorious Reading. Early on in the fixture, Jaden Wareham was able to score his first professional goal for the club. He scored in the 22nd minute. He was put through and slotted the ball in the back of the net, following through with the old cartwheel backflip celebration. Looked very happy, looked very relieved more than anything to score for the club. Listen, it was last year we saw the EFL Trophy as an opportunity for a lot of youth players. I think again this year will also be the case. I thought it was a good finish as well from Jaden Wareham, and yeah, realistically at the end of the day, it was good to see him get off the mark for Reading. I thought Reading, you could really see in the first half just the difference in the quality between the two sides. I went with a couple of mates of mine from work, and a lot of the time we were talking about how you could see the difference between the men's game and the youth game. You could see Reading were able to open these spaces and create these opportunities very early on, whereas you were able to see West Ham, they took a little bit of time with it. They weren't able to find these spaces that Reading were able to create, especially a lot of the time. I thought Ehebachman spinning in behind, and Ben Elliott as well had a lot of freedom in midfield the entirety of the first half. That also did play off for Reading, and the dominance did continue as we saw Kelvin Abrefa end up scoring for Reading. He scored in the 32nd minute. He actually had a pretty poor first half in my opinion, but managed to end up scoring. He got booked as well for a late challenge very early on, and he gave the ball away a few times, and I thought he was having one of his poorer halves in a Reading shirt, but he ended up managing to score and yeah, put the ball in the back of the net in the 32nd minute to double Reading's advantage. West Ham were then able to get a goal back. I've got it down here, at least on Reading's match report, as a Harley Dean own goal in the 38th minute. No one really reacted in the stadium. Kanaya Boys Clark looked to be beaten at his near post. So yeah, maybe something just to keep an eye on. I think Boys Clark so far this season, he's made a couple of decent saves, but I also think he's let a few goals in, which maybe he could have done a little bit better with. I think Boys Clark's someone that divides opinion between Reading fans, whether or not they want him to be a potential starter in the future, or whether realistically he even has a big future at Reading. But look, I think Kanaya Boys Clark, I think he needs a loan realistically out to one of these lower division clubs, maybe like a League 2, a National League side, just to get that experience under his belt, just to lead a back four in the men's game a little bit more. And I think that's where you'll start to see Kanaya Boys Clark make the most development, not these EFL Trophy competitions where realistically you're just playing the second string teams of other teams, or like in this fixture, you're playing a youth side. Now, Reading did end up eventually going 3-1 up. It was a pretty poor second half in my opinion. Again, a lot of the time the ball was spent up in West Ham's half. Thought they did have a couple of opportunities to break, and there was a few good defensive moments from the likes of Abraham Kanu and Andre Garcia as well, who was playing at left back today. Look, realistic though, Reading did end up scoring in the second half. It was Sackey who ended up scoring late on within the last 10 minutes, which saw Reading put the game to bed and get a 3-1 victory. If I have to talk about individual performances and stuff like that, in terms of people who stood out to me, Ben Elliott obviously stood out, but again, he should be standing out playing against a under-21s West Ham side. You you would want your senior players to stand out. I thought Jaden Wareham did really well as well with his runs inside. I didn't think he got a lot of the ball though, but his runs into the box and his darting runs in there, I thought Jaden Wareham did all right. I thought Adrian Akande, look, I thought he could have done a little bit better today. He was often looking for the cut inside and to be able to shoot on his right foot, when realistically the better option a lot of the time would have been just to keep running to the byline and putting the ball into the box. I thought Charlie Savage was a little bit poor as well today. Again though, as the first 45 minutes that he played, he didn't really need to do anything. If we're being completely honest, this fixture was more like a friendly, and really it was more like something that Reading didn't really need to go full throttle and really care too much about. So I'm not going to sit here and overanalyze, and I'm not going to sit here and criticise all the players and stuff like that. But listen, at the end of the day, Reading came away with a 3-1 victory. It's another win, and look, we'll go through into the next game, and look, a draw will realistically see Reading through to the second round of the EFL Trophy. A lot of the time, this competition's seen as more of a distraction, and realistically, I also think that is the case. Look, if Reading get to the semis, then I'll be happy, because look, it's a trip to Wembley if you get to the final. So these match reviews are normally just going to be me saying, do we really care about the EFL Trophy too much? Not massively. Well, that's going to be it for this video today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. My name's been James, and we'll hope to see you all again very soon. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.